Welcome to Storm Tracker, your eye on the storm of your Carolina Hurricanes, and your home for the best insight and analysis to keep you totally informed on what's happening with the Canes. Whether it's the latest news on the ice or off the ice, we've got you covered. Now let's begin. Here's your host, Tom Ray.
With the recent news that Tom Dundon is looking to bring a Major League Baseball franchise to the Raleigh-Durham area, I thought it would be a good time to learn a little bit about the man and get a feel whether is this possible with Tom. You know, everything I've seen says Tom is the real deal. Let's take a look at that. Tom was born in New York City in 1971. He and his family moved to Texas, and he went to Southern Methodist and got a degree in economics. Upon graduation, Tom and a friend of his co-founded a company called Drive Financial, and you might have heard of those guys. They did car loans, mostly to credit challenged individuals, basically offering a way for them to get cars, and it worked out real well for them. Tom ultimately sold his share in the company to Santander and made significant dollars in doing that, and went off to form Dundon Capital Partners, which was his own company to do commercial development. And they started off with a development in downtown Dallas, 33-story building that launched their business. He's invested in a lot of other businesses along the way and had pretty good success with Carvana, which we know extremely well, and Topgolf. Both of these very topical businesses these days. Tom wanted to get involved in sports at different times, and once he had success financially, he was in a position to do just that. So in 2017, Tom started to see an opportunity with the Hurricanes. The then owner, Peter Karmanos, had started to struggle with the Hurricanes, in fact. And he had been the owner since 1997. They were in Hartford. He brought them over to North Carolina, had some success. They had won a cup, and also had some success in the playoffs. But in most recent years, it wasn't going well. The Canes have not been in the playoffs for 8 years, and it was going south. Attendance was down, generally not good feeling about the Hurricanes. And one of the big problems the Hurricanes had was that Karmanos, as the owner, was not willing to spend money. He was not willing to bring in free agents and was not willing to keep the top players he had. So it was a tough situation. Both his general managers, Jim Rutherford and Ron Francis, struggled with Karmanos. I can remember many times at free agency and trade deadline and watching these guys unable to make moves because Karmanos just was not willing to spend the money. So Karmanos really getting in a situation where it wasn't going well, and he was also having some family issues at the time. Decided that it was probably a good idea to sell the Hurricanes, and the word got out, and Dundon was aware of that. So he started having conversations with Karmanos in late 2017, and in January 2018, they packaged up a deal and announced that Dundon had purchased 52% of the Hurricanes and also got rights to PNC Arena for the Hurricane games. So this was big news. He was now a National Hockey League owner and little known. He was a guy that didn't come from hockey. He was a businessman, came in, was going to be a part of the mix. He made it very clear he was not going to be an absentee owner. He wanted to be involved. And there were a lot of questions that came up as a result of that from folks trying to figure out, what does he know? Anything? And so they kind of looked at this very closely. And of course, early decisions by Tom were met with mixed reaction, frankly. One of his early parts of business was to go and get a general manager, and you might have remembered a lot of the story around that. Tom interviewed the top GMs available, as you would expect, but decided that none of them really caught his attention, and frankly thought they were overpaid. So he decided to take one of his own guys, an internal candidate, Don Waddell, and to promote Don into the role of general manager and president of the Hurricanes. Don had been doing a role for Karmanos, running business operations, so now he was kind of in charge of all the operations, both hockey and business, so it was interesting. Well, this was met with a lot of controversy. A lot of folks felt like Dundon was going cheap on this one. A lot of folks did not like Don Waddell. He had been a general manager with the Atlanta Thrashers. The Thrasher story was not a good one. Ultimately, they left and went to Winnipeg. But he had done some things with the Thrashers that did not go over well. In fact, the big one was the deal that he did with the New Jersey Devils to trade Ilya Kovalchuk to the Devils in what turned out to be a bag of pucks. Not a good situation for Waddell. But Dundon liked him and thought he was a good choice to run the hockey operations for the Hurricanes. So off they went. Both Dundon and Waddell needed to solve the coaching situation, and the same thing again, where they went out and interviewed the top candidates. And as you can imagine, a lot of controversy followed when Dundon came out and publicly said, my guy is Rod Brind'Amour. Really like him. And the Canes hired Brind'Amour as the new head coach, and the rest is history. So, a lot of moves made by Tom, very key decisions to get the Canes off and running. Good news. Now, at the same time, that year, the Canes got a little bit of fortune, as you kind of recall. In the draft lottery, the Canes came up second. And Waddell, and they laughed a lot. He used to wear his turtleneck quite a bit in the meetings, the league meetings, and he had his turtleneck on and pulled up the number 2 slot. And it turns out the Canes drafted Andrei Svechnikov, and the tremendous player that he is and will be. Great news for the Hurricanes, and a key part of building a team that could be competitive. So, lots of cool things with Tom, getting his organization in place, and you know the rest of the organization has followed as well with some great people. And one thing Tom has done is really promote analytics with the Hurricanes. They're a leader in the National Hockey League. Their guru is Eric Tulsky, who's among the brightest and the best at analytics in the league. So kind of a cool story. Tom's done some other things in sports. You may not have seen it or paid attention to it. In 2019, Tom got involved with the Alliance of American Football, the AAF as it was called. They were a relatively new upstart league, getting some attention. Once again, trying to jump into that huge opportunity in football in the U.S. And Tom invested $250 million, wanted to be a part of it, really thought this would be an opportunity for him to get a strong role in sports continuing, but did not go well. He invested in February, and in April, the AAF suspended operations. That's not a good situation. And for Tom, he lost money in the deal. A lot of controversy. He was being sued for different things. It wasn't a good situation for Tom at all, but it did blow over, and he moved on to put more attention on the Hurricanes and his own business entities. He decided in 2021 that he was ready to do something else again, and at the end of the year, he got involved in pickleball. Now, pickleball is probably the fastest growing sport in North America. And is gaining a lot of attention. I can say there's leagues everywhere. We have a league where we are now, and it's definitely exploding. So Tom wanted to get involved on the ground floor, and his first activities in December 2021 were to acquire the top web retailer for pickleball in the United States. And then he promptly announced that he had acquired the software rights for the software that's used for pickleball tournaments. So these were some pretty good starting points for Tom in the pickleball world. So that was pretty exciting. And then in January 2022, Tom decided that he might as well get really serious about this, and he acquired the Professional Pickleball Association, PPA, and so had a really strong role in the direction of pickleball here in the United States, and this was big news. Now, Tom has put a bow around that recently with the announcement that he had negotiated a television contract for pickleball in the U.S. and for the PPA. So pickleball tournaments now will be broadcast on Tennis Channel. So they are the exclusive broadcaster for pickleball in the U.S., and Tom was instrumental in making that happen. And of course, another thing that came out of that, which was kind of interesting, you might have seen the explosion of what they call fast television channels now in right around the world, basically. And these channels are free channels that are paid for by advertising. They're not on cable. They're basically being distributed through televisions have fast channels. There are groups called Pluto or Plex or Tubi and others. They're no cost and they are available 24/7. And so he has been able to negotiate for the PPA a 24/7 fast channel with the tennis channel running it exclusively on pickleball tournaments. So very, very interesting. Once again, Tom on the foreground, making something happen and really making a difference out there. Let's talk hockey for a minute. So Tom on the business side, man, he's doing a lot of cool stuff, but what's happening on the ice? So since 2018, when Tom got involved, the Hurricanes have had quite a record. As you know, they've made the playoffs every single year. They've won their division 3 times. They have gotten past the first round in the playoffs every single year. They have gotten past the second round in the playoffs twice. So clearly, they are a team that is enjoying wonderful success. And everybody is talking about the potential this year of the Hurricanes winning the Stanley Cup. So the talking heads are on board. And the words are pretty clear that this Canes team is going to compete for the Cup. So we will see as the season unfolds how that all plays out. Now, I wanted to talk about some other key metrics around kind of numbers, if you will. Remember that when Tom came in, the attendance was somewhere around 13,000. And of course, it was dwindling. This is under Karmanos. Team not doing well, fans getting disinterested. Tough market in North Carolina. A lot of rumors that the Canes were going to be moved. Not a good situation. Fast forward to last year. And the Canes are in the top 2 or 3 of the National Hockey League right now. They averaged 19,500 fans last year, basically sold out. This is quite a story. So they go from 13,000 to 19,500, and that is impressive. Now, something else that happened to drive the number last year, of course, was the outdoor game. They had 57,000 fans at the Carter Finley Stadium, which is right beside PNC Arena. I attended the game and it was really impressive. It was just a wonderful affair. Man, it was a class act all the way around and wonderful. It's a little bit cool, but it was a great, great affair. And once again, the Hurricanes demonstrated to the world and to the hockey world that we are right there with the top teams for sure. Tom Dundon had everything to do with that. He drove the bus to get that outdoor game. In fact, it was planned a few years earlier, as you might recall. COVID derailed it, but Tom was right there, and kudos to him for making that happen. A great event for the Canes, the NHL, the area. Everybody was a winner with that. One other thing I want to mention is that Tom, looking at the value of the Hurricanes, Tom, when they acquired the Hurricanes at $420 million, basically now they're at $650, so tremendous situation for the Hurricanes all around. Facility enhancements is the other area I wanted to talk about. I think this is something that's often not even considered in the discussion with Dundon and the Hurricanes, but man, he's been doing a lot of different things behind the scenes to really make this exciting. 2018, when Tom got involved, he said, look, we've got to improve the experience for the fans. It's got to happen. So one of the things he did very quickly was to start work on getting the necessary approvals and support for a new video board. And they did conclude with that video board in 2018 and install it. And it was an amazing ad because it was a 3 times larger video board than what was there before. It was state of the art. and very impressive, and of course really made a difference for all the different fans who were attending the games. It was just a different experience. So he was the man that really drove the bus on that. And then of course he wanted to make some of the things much better for the players, and at the same time as he did the video board, he arranged that they would have a different entrance onto the ice, and they updated that a little bit to make that a more enjoyable experience. And of course, in 2019, Tom was involved with the development of a new practice facility for the Hurricanes, and that was in Morrisville. The Wake Competition Center was a joint venture with Tom and some folks in Morrisville, and so the principal tenant was going to be the Hurricanes, and it is a state-of-the-art facility for practice, and of course they have a number of other activities that go on there. But this was great, and it's great for the current players, and of course it is a great asset in attracting new players. As it turns out, practice facilities are something that the players really pay attention to, and this is one of the best in the National Hockey League. And again, Tom was not done yet. He wanted to get involved in probably his biggest, most ambitious project to date. And of course, recently it was announced that there would be a major development around the PNC Arena. This was something that Tom had looked at for some period of time. Of course, as a commercial developer, he saw very quickly the potential of that area around the PNC that was open space. And he said, we got to do something with that, and we've got to make this a destination, not just for hockey, but for a lot of things. And he went to work to get the approvals with his team and to get everything organized to move forward with what is an amazing, amazing plan around the PNC Arena. Culminating in all of that, of course, was the agreement that the Canes made with PNC for a 20-year extension. They will be there for quite an extended period for sure. So what are they doing? Tom and his investment group will be putting a significant investment into this, up to about $800 million. And they're playing a key role in this, and what we're going to see are retail, restaurants, an affordable housing complex, new parking garage built, 4,000-seat music venue, and this is an interesting one. Tom, very strong about this one, said you've got the large venue, but what about some of these other acts that really are better suited to a smaller venue, and we want to do that too. So that's going to be part of it. And then most recently, of course, the sports book situation. They're going to add a sports book to the property as well, and that follows on the heels of the announcement in North Carolina. They're going to legalize betting. So all of this, exciting news for the Hurricanes and exciting news for the fans. It's going to be a destination that we're going to want to go to, and of course, culminated with the incredible Carolina Hurricanes Hockey Club and the action that they'll have in PNC Arena. Folks, a lot going on, and now you've got the news that Tom is looking to bring a Major League Baseball franchise. I think after hearing what I just said over the last number of minutes, you've got to believe that if anybody can pull this off, it's Mr. Dundon. He's got the funds, he's got the ability to do it. It sounds to me that Major League Baseball franchise is in the $2 billion range. He's going to be up against some competition. I guess Charlotte's going to be in the mix. There's some others, but clearly Major League Baseball wants to expand, and the Raleigh area is well suited. And with Mr. Dundon at the helm here, you can bet that they're going to put forward a wonderful presentation, and we'll have every opportunity to bring baseball into the Triangle area. In any case, a little bit about Tom Dundon, what's happening with him, and a little bit of history on Tom as well. I guess you have to agree after listening to this that Tom is the real deal. Thanks a lot, folks, for joining me. As always, please subscribe. Any comments, love to hear them down below. And until next time, thanks again. This is Tom Ray here on Storm Tracker.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tell your friends for everything with the Canes. You need Storm Tracker.